Hi, welcome back. I hope you're doing a good day. My name is Khasadi. I'm trying to find where their remote's right behind me. My phone. What? Hi. Um, so what we're gonna do is, as many as I have been alive, I went to my therapist Monday and we were talking about things regarding the thing of toxic positivity and actual happiness and what it is entailed, and how the internet kind of makes us doubt who we are, doubt our happiness, and doubt if our achievements are actual achievements because they don't match what we see in the internet on the line. And I relate to this because prime example, the most confident people, especially with how advanced the internet has gotten, they know how to get our brains. They know how to psychologically make us doubt and kind of make us think our achievements aren't great. And I'm just going to use things like, maybe Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Maybe you do see somebody that in your head is living better than you. And I'm going to throw out mine. I have never been somebody that has, up until last weekend, I've actually never been to a bar. I've never been out clubbing, and I've never been to music or festivals. But those things really they're not an issue in my life until I meet somebody around my age. You guys know I'm 23, and they are shell shocked. And in my head, I'm like, well, I always wonder, why is it shocking? Because it shouldn't be. At the end of the day, I do think you don't need to go out to live your life. Living your life is more about how you want to live it, and not everybody's circumstance is the same as you. And we don't know what somebody's going through. I've always just worked a lot in my life. Once I knew I could work, I started working. And I am somebody that is a little bit of both, and I can be extrovert if I need to be, but sometimes I don't need to be. I like to be a recluse. I like to just be in my own little bubble. So that is a weird thing about the internet, though. Even though I know these things, and certain things in my head are achievement, like that I've always been able to keep a job. I do try to maintain this house, and the people I love in my life are, for the most part, healthy. And I am in therapy, and I try to work on myself, and I try to work on saying sorry. I try to work on bettering and working on my emotional work so it doesn't affect the people I love. All that goes out the window. For example, if I look on TikTok, and I forget sometimes, and I think this might help any young people out there, is the internet is only going to show, and the people will only show what they want to show. And that's not their fault, because weirdly the internet has given us this emotional armor. Because on the internet, we can present ourselves in certain ways, and not everybody presents a false personality either. There are definitely some awesome, genuine people out there that they're just who they are, and they just are who they are, and they record it, and they having fun. But there's always that possibility too that the internet gives people a new emotional armor. And even when they get off the internet, they don't want those genuine conversations about maybe talking about a stressful day at work, bills to pay, maybe they have something on in the family, because this internet bravado has given them confidence and a false security blanket of, well, if I stay this way and present this way, nobody can hurt me because I won't know where I am. And we've all done that. I've definitely done that, at least not on the internet, but on the sidelines. And I don't want to rob anybody now of having those genuine conversations where you talk about the hard things you're going through, because it doesn't make you a less happy person. That just makes you human, and we're all human. We all are going to have stuff going on in our lives. And weirdly, once we think like, oh, this person is doing better than me, we put them on a very, very high pedestal. So they're not human. We don't treat them like humans. We either just hate them, or we start to get very envious, which envy and jealousy isn't a bad thing if you're like, you know what, I'm going to use this jealousy and emotions to work towards what they have for myself and use as inspiration. That's the good part. And, even though I know these achievements personally, for me, I might have these personal achievements that I have if I look on TikTok or even Instagram every once in a while and I don't actively say, nope, I'm not going to look at these things post or this person's post, or I'm just not going to look at it today, and I'm only going to look at things like spooky season. As you guys, spooky season is coming up. PJ weather is coming up where I won't sweat to death like a hot tamale. So every once in a while when I slip up, I don't curate those things. Well, then I do look at something that makes me doubt that. And I just wanted to let, I think it's good to teach a little bit, especially the youngers, is out there is one, internet has its ups and downs, just like life. So there's always a possibility what you're seeing, what you're watching, it's not actually the person's competence. It's not actually who they are. And you won't know who they are because you're not with them in everyday real life, because they can put the camera on, they can put the lighting on, they can curate. Not everybody does this. Like I said, I have my phone on me and I just record from my phone because I have other stuff I gotta pay for. And for now, I just kind of like these little normal chit-chat videos. And I like to use sunlight from my window, which it rained earlier today, but now it's normal. And yeah, this is where I just try my best to always talk about these random thoughts, because I do think it's good to start these conversations, and it's good to talk about it and debate it with people, because there are pros and cons to the internet. It's gotten so evolved now, but sometimes, they psychologically connect you. And if that happens to you or anybody, don't let internet doubt your worth. At the end of the day, happiness isn't like ignoring the things that are going on. Happiness isn't pretending that you have no negative feelings, and happiness isn't just sweeping all your problems under the rug. Happiness, whether you share with other people or within yourself in many ways, that's once again, there's possibilities of, quote, experiencing happiness. It can always be little moments to yourself or with other people, but it's always something that you want to take day by day, hour by hour, because trying to control everything will not work, because you can't do that. And that will leave you to almost be obsessed with happiness, and building up that wall, you'll lose the most happiest thing to me on the planet, which is risking either losing or gaining support and company in the world. And I don't want to see anybody I care about go through that, and that's why, like I said, I'm doing the emotional work now to work through it, so I don't do that with people I care about. And you can live your own life the way you want, and that's your happiness. And there's nothing wrong if you ever want to. Just don't do the internet thing. Get off it for a little bit. Reevaluate what you want to see on your feed, because you do have the control on that. And heads up, there's a possibility you will come around people that don't want those genuine conversations or emotionally can't give you that. And they want to keep that bravado, they want to keep the balls up. But I promise you, not everybody is going to be like that. So just take it day by day. Let's take this thing day by day. And it's normal to still be happy without being bubbly or extreme, because happiness doesn't need a exact way it looks. It's not something that is you're gonna find one quick fix and be done. It's just being present. And only thing I've learned about being present is being aware of the things that are going on with yourself, the people you love, the world, and just taking those moments to be very conscious of your choices and your actions. And this could mean for the good or bad. It just depends. And that is something I want you to sit with. I'm going to sit with it. I'm going to check my muffins. Hopefully I don't burn them. And thank you very, very much for listening. It does mean a lot, and please stay safe. Keep your head up, keep your things involved, and I will see you again later. Happy sweater season for me. Goodbye.